So the fastest script you've written?
Maya, Chesave, Vinnai, Thaandi, Varuvaya. 5 days. Don't immediately think if it was in 30 days it would be a better script. All of us were in one close space, huddling and looking at the monitor, where the actors in the other space, with the camera person on the gimbal moving around. So it was brilliant filmmaking, I think. I want to work with Chiranjeevi Garu for sure. I want to work with Mahesh. I want to work with Allu, Arjun. I've been trying to. Like the first 35-40 minutes, you'll wonder if this is a...
Gautham Menon.
Yeah.
Hi Gautham Menon garu.
Hi.
Ela unnaru?
I'm good, thank you.
The very first question. In a very old interview, you mentioned that, you stayed away from putting Menon in your name. Today, Menon almost became a brand, So how's that journey from there to here in a line if you have to tell,
No, initially I was not allowed to put Menon.
That's what,
it was just a producer's call saying keep it short. But that's the name that my father gave me. So it's not a clan or a thing that I want to own into and stuff like that. It's a name that my father, probably my grandmother and everybody. So I wanted to be called that. And now it's become, from all that, it's become GVM, which takes some time for me to even... So if I'm saying if somebody says GVM, I take 15 seconds to turn. Because nobody calls me that other than the film circle, right? So that's okay, I think,
For the majority of Telugu audiences, we know Gautham Menon garu as love story, journeys, travel, ivanni untai. Did you get any unique review kind of a comment?
No, I haven't got that criticism in Telugu at all.
Okay.
In Tamil, there is some criticism that my films are all, about these upper middle class characters or middle class characters wearing nice clothes and guitars and songs and travel and love and speaking a certain way and all that. But in Telugu, I've never got that. They've always been appreciative of that, and they still keep asking me, why aren't you making the next love story sort of thing.
Were you convinced with the climax of Ye Maya Chesave after the movie became a success at the box office? Or
No.
are you still...
I'm still hoping it would have been the other climax.
Even I love the Tamil version. A Telugu movie you watch any given day?
There are a lot of films, but these are all slightly films that came out in the 80s and 90s. Like
can you name...
Sagara Sangam, Swadi Mutyam, Shankarabharanam, and Ram Gopal Varma sir's Satya, Udayam.
So how will your day look when your movie works at the box office and when it doesn't?
If the movie doesn't work, I go into a shell. It really bothers me because, you lived with something and you've liked it, and then they tell you it's not working. It's difficult to get out of that immediately. So I go into a sort of a shell, not like Neelambari in Padayappa, but I go into a sort of a shell and then I feel bad and I feel like, why didn't it work and what's his criticism about?
So you introspect and everything?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, very important.
And when it's a hit?
So my celebrations are not very intense and
loud. And all. Yeah.
It's very quiet. I probably listen to slightly louder music and drive around, meet the team, thank them. There's a lot of thanksgiving. I think that's very important. It's celebration is always meeting the team and saying thanks to them.
Yeah. So one thing you learned about yourself recently,
This film.
Okay.
Wow, do I have this in me? Seriously.
Wow.
I think I've matured as a filmmaker. I don't know if the audience will see it, but within me, the way I handle this film, the shots, owning another story and trying to own it and visualize it, and the way the single shot sequences were staged and a lot of other staging in the film. I really discovered myself again, I thought, in this film.
Wow. So do you pen your script or do you type it like?
Both.
Both?
Yeah.
But which one
First round is always the pen. But then you have to make it proper, right?
Yeah.
You have to make it like what's organized and it has to be given as sheets and all that. Yeah. My handwriting is good, but then it always gets into final draft and a proper formatted version.
So the fastest script you've written?
Ye Maya Chesave, Vinnai, Thaandi, Varuvaya. 5 days.
Oh. So you
Don't
travel...
immediately think if it was in 30 days it would be a better script.
So you travel and write, right? So which was the beautiful place you've traveled and a beautiful movie that came out of that travel?
I think Varanamayiram, Surya son of Krishnan, Vetadu Vilayadu, both these films, a lot of travel and writing. Vinnai, Thaandi, Varuvaya was written inside an apartment in Hyderabad for 5 days.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So which is the best feeling, relief or happiness?
Happiness always,
happiness. So the last movie you watched in the theatre and on OTT?
Sita Ramam I watched in the theatres.
You watched it?
Yeah.
We loved you even in that movie though.
Thank you. OTT, I don't remember. I think it was Gargi. The Tamil film, yeah.
So how was Gautham Vasudev Menon as a child?
You have to ask my mother and father. I am that.
Am I really?
I'm still that.
You're still that?
I think we're
And
all
that's
that,
nice.
no? We
Yeah.
all still have that child in ourselves. No, honestly, I'm saying I still feel that. I think I'm still that. Like I'm always looking in awe at certain things, trying to find out, trying to discover, trying to still discover myself. I still feel that. So
So there's nothing like a message you want to give your younger self?
I wish I'd eaten lesser sweets at that time.
Oh. So background score or songs?
These days it's background score.
Women in Saree or Chudidhar? I mean your heroines in particular.
Saris.
Sarees. Surya's proposal scene in Surya Son of Krishnan or Karthik in Yemaya Chesave?
Karthik in Maaya, Chesave.
Karthik in Yemaya Chesave. Any Telugu actor or technician you're, looking forward to work with?
Actors, yeah, a lot of actors. I want to work with all of them. I want to
All
work
of
with
them.
Chiranjeevi Garu for sure. I want to work with Mahesh. I want to work with Allu Arjun. I've been trying to for some
Okay.
time. I want to work with all of them. I think they're tremendous stars and actors to work with.
Rahman Garto, music during the day or music during the night? Because he works usually in the nights, right?
I think, yeah, Vinnai Thaandi MIHSA was completed during the day only, most
Day.
of the work. Like I
Okay.
remember composing sessions,
Okay.
Tamare, myself and Rahman sir, the discussions that we had and all that. This was completed during the night.
Okay.
Life of Muthu was completed in the night, yeah. At 2:30
So
in the
which one
morning
did you
and all
enjoy
that.
the most?
Any time with Rahman sir is enjoyable. I think
True.
any filmmaker would
True.
say that. I always wait for an email from him or a call from his studio saying, sir's coming on the line and are you free to talk and all that stuff. So
True.
any time is good time, really.
So have you ever thought of making a periodical or mythological or...
Not as yet.
Do you miss your college life?
Yeah, I mean, college life was in down south, Trichy, in small college. Nothing at all was there. It was like if you see this movie, there is a setup where in a small space there are like 30 men sleeping and spending time and there. So we were like in one very small space, about 12 boys sleeping in one room, very less facilities and stuff like that. So I've been through that, and we loved it. It didn't seem important that there was nothing around. If you have to watch a movie, we have to take a bus and come like some 35 kilometers away to watch a film. Even to a good restaurant, we have to travel like that. So we used to take rides in lorries and trucks because there are no buses all the time. Completely dark if you step out on the road and walk and all that stuff. So if I were to change something about that, nothing at all. Would I like to go back to that? Yes, I don't mind. A few days maybe.
So while you're telling, I can see how your personal life reflects in your movies,
Always. There's always some connect to life and you've
Yeah.
been there. And
Yeah.
see, it's not an outsider gaze for sure. It's not like if I'm shooting in a parota shop, I don't know. So maybe I should shoot something interesting here. You know it. You've been there, and that's why you liked it when you heard it. That's why you want to film it. So yeah.
So usually this calm, composed person, but how are you on sets? Or
Yeah,
do
I
you
yell,
shout?
rant, rave,
Oh,
scream.
really?
I break things. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
No, I'm lying. I don't.
So you once said you wanted to collaborate with Anurag Kashyap and other directors, writers also. Is there any surprising collaboration happening in future? Or,
I think the best collaboration for me so far has been, Anurag actually helped me set up a film that I made called Pachekli Vuthucharam. I took Kaka Kaka to him, and even recently we've been in touch. But I think my better work has been with Queen that Reshma wrote, and now
Okay.
what Jeyamohan has written for me for Life of Muthu. I really enjoyed, and like I told you, I discovered myself with this, and with Queen, where it is made for the OTT platform, right? So there was a lot of freedom in filmmaking. You don't have to worry about length and commercial viability, and the shots have to be a certain way and speed and everything. I think Queen helped me film this to a large extent. I think I didn't worry about pace and fast cuts and get to the audience. I thought this will also get to the audience, and I think it has.
at this stage, do you watch a movie as a regular audience or only as a director?
So I watch a movie as a regular audience only.
Okay.
But if the movie ends up bringing out the director in me, then the movie hasn't worked for me, because then somewhere if the movie doesn't work, I start thinking of the camera and
True.
what they've done and everything. So if I'm able to forget that I'm a director and forget the camera moving on the film that I'm watching as an audience, I love that film. Yeah.
Life of Muthu. Where did this first start?
So we were all set to make a film with Simbu, It was a love story, a very interesting love story actually. And I was meeting Jeyamohan sir on another project while we were casting and trying to do some pre-prod work for the other film. And Jeyamohan sir narrated a 15-minute short story to me from a book that he'd written, and I loved it. And I said, "What next?" So he said, "I left it to the audience's imagination, the reader's imagination." I took that meeting with him, asking him if we can do a low-lying gangster film, like not touch the gangster kind of stories that have been done earlier, and not about the bosses. It's about the like I remember telling him, I don't know if you've seen Pandya in Kaka Kaka.
Yeah,
I want to write a story of how would Pandya have reached that space. So then he said, this story that I narrated to you can go into that area because I know some true life characters and I can base this on one of those guys. And in about 10 days, he sent me a set of scenes. It was not a screenplay, it was like reading a book, many scenes with character names and everything. And I thought this is what I should make immediately. And I had to convince only Simbu and the producer. And they said, if this is what you want to make, then go ahead and make it. Simbu said, I'll do this for you. I'll come in that look that you want. And I'll give you that transformation and I'll be with you on this. I understand what you're trying to make, let's do it. So that's how this film was born.
This is slightly away from your usual tone of, making a film. Am I right?
Not slightly. It's completely away from, like the first 35-40 minutes, you'll wonder if this is a
Gautham Menon film.
Yeah, and I've heard that from some people saying,
Okay.
So it took them some time to settle down into the film, wondering whether they've come to the wrong screen, yeah.
Talking about the makeover, makeup of Simbu Garu, can you please detail us about that?
He was actually going through a transformation in life itself. He was on a sort of detox program and cullery and a lot of things, which I think he's going to put out as a video. He put out some snatches earlier. So I think this was at the time when I narrated to him, and when I met him itself, he had lost a lot of weight and he was looking really fit and energetic and all that. And I said, this from here onwards, if you bring it down a little more, then we can do that 20-year-old portion. And then eventually, we'll get to the other look. So he was already in that space, a lot of hard work. I think he became vegetarian and, proper timing and all that stuff. So it worked that we were discussing at the time and he came into the look for me. And I'm really happy that he did that, yeah.
And about the Mallipoo song, if I'm not wrong, that's like completely different and it's a new A.R. Rahman kind of tune and Gautham Menon kind of visual and also Brinda Master's choreography. Can you please tell us about that?
Yeah, very exciting itself for me while composing or speaking about the song situations. Rahman sir was suggested, I like the moment, why don't we extend it to a song?
Okay.
So I said, interesting sir, how do we do it? So he said, no, we'll make it a song like this. I'll send you a tune and you see how much you can push it. So the song came. And I loved the song. It was very different from, an A.R. Rahman song itself.
Yeah.
And that worked for the film. Then I thought how to make this interesting in the film. And this seemed like the first moment when the audience themselves, from is this a Gautham Menon film, to all the strange events that are happening on screen, the pace and everything. This is the first time there'll be a smile on their faces. Because till then they'll be intensely glued to what is happening. And here they'll sort of sit back to figure out, okay, so this is what the film is. It's about these bunch of guys. And when you listen to the song, you might think this is like a number with women and all that. But we didn't want to do that at all. We didn't want to, see the woman itself, but for sparingly a few shots of the phone through which the voice is coming, It was supposed to be a bunch of guys inside one small space. And they're sort of connect with the rest of the world through a phone. That's all it was.
Wow.
Single shot sequence.
Yeah,
again.
I was about to.
Single shot sequence. There's no cuts at all. We did a couple of rehearsals. Brinda Master is brilliant. I told her, you're choreographing Simbu, not you're choreographing Muthu, not Simbu. I don't want to say Simbu. I want to say Muthu. This is a story. This is where he's come from. Very reluctantly, if he dances, this is how he'll dance, and only halfway through, not from the beginning. So she understood who the other characters are. And I told her there will be a similar sequence where little later you'll see the camera moving where they're in despair because one of them has died. Now this is an earlier moment, so I want the camera to start from here and go all over the place. And now I leave it to you. So she did that choreography within that. It is magic unfolding. And I just stepped back, to watch on the monitor because the camera is turning all around.
Yeah.
And you can't be there. So Brinda, me, my team, the Siddharth, all of us were in one close space huddling and looking at the monitor. And everybody else were the actors in the other space with the camera person on the gimbal moving around. So it was brilliant filmmaking, I think.
Wow. We can't
Something
wait
that,
to watch that.
I really cherished, yeah.
Please tell the Telugu audience about the life of Muthu and why they should go watch it.
I think they know my work from earlier.
Yeah.
And this is very different from what I've done earlier. So firstly, for that, then there's A.R. Rahman. It's a combination with us, the three of us. And there's a background score that's pulsating, that's exciting, that's just one notch above, those scenes, and it so works with the film. And there's a tremendous actor that I think the Telugu audience should discover with this film. I mean, you've seen his work earlier with Manmadan and Vallavan, which had Telugu versions that did really well. But you can see the progression, the transformation of this actor, who was always brilliant, and then he plays this role to the hilt, and this is the feedback that we're getting from Chennai and all over from Tamil Nadu where people have seen this film. We showed the film to some critics in Bombay and they also, the first thing they said was Silambarasan is brilliant, So I think to discover this actor again, I think you should see this film.
I can't wait to watch it. Thank you.
Thank you.